Hey, what's up, Red Sox Nation? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got some serious breaking level buzz coming out of Boston that you do not want to miss. The trade rumors are heating up again in 2026, and this time it's centered around two young names that fans know very well: Wyllie Abreu and Jarren Duran. Yeah, you heard that right. Two of the most exciting, controllable outfield talents on this roster are once again being linked to potential trade discussions, and this could have major implications for the entire season. Now let's get you fully caught up on what's actually going on. Over the last few days, multiple reports and insider conversations have reignited the idea that Boston could explore moving one of these young outfielders and, in some scenarios, even consider packages involving both, depending on what kind of return is on the table. The biggest reason? It all comes down to roster balance and depth. Right now, the Red Sox have what many analysts are calling one of the most crowded and talented outfields in baseball, and that kind of depth, while valuable, can also turn into a trade asset. Let's start with Wyllie Abreu. His name has been gaining traction in recent trade discussions, especially with teams like the Phillies reportedly monitoring his availability. The reason is simple: he's young, productive, and relatively affordable, making him extremely attractive for teams looking to upgrade without breaking the bank. But here's the twist: Boston isn't actively shopping him. Instead, they're listening. That's a huge difference. It means if a team comes in with a strong enough offer, the Red Sox might actually consider pulling the trigger. Now shifting over to Jarren Duran, and honestly, this is where things get even more interesting. Duran has been at the center of trade speculation for weeks now, and insiders are starting to believe that a move involving him is not just possible but maybe even likely under the right circumstances. One recent report even suggested that a Duran trade feels inevitable because of Boston's outfield surplus and his long-term value as a controllable player through the coming years. And here's where it gets real: we're not just talking about random trade chatter. There are actual potential deals being floated. One rumored scenario involves the Red Sox targeting a high-level pitcher like Cole Ragans from the Kansas City Royals, with Duran possibly being a centerpiece in that kind of deal. That tells you everything you need to know about how Boston is approaching this situation. They're not looking to just move players, they're looking to upgrade the roster in a meaningful way. But here's the part that makes this story even more dramatic. Despite all these rumors, Boston has already shown hesitation to make a move. Earlier this offseason, there was heavy speculation that one of these outfielders would be traded, and yet both Abreu and Duran are still on the roster. In fact, the front office managed to strengthen the team in other areas, adding pitching, filling infield gaps without giving up either of them. So now the big question becomes: what changed? Why are these names back in the rumor mill again? The answer comes down to timing and opportunity. As we move deeper into 2026, teams across the league are starting to evaluate their real needs. Injuries, underperformance, and roster holes are beginning to show up, and that's when contenders start making aggressive calls. And guess what? Boston is one of the few teams that actually has the depth to answer those calls. That puts them in a position of power. Another key factor here is performance. Both Abreu and Duran have been on fire recently, especially during international play like the World Baseball Classic. That kind of exposure only increases their trade value. So if you're the Red Sox front office, you're looking at this and thinking, is this the perfect time to sell high? But let's be real for a second: trading either of these guys would not be an easy decision. Duran brings elite speed, energy, and game-changing ability on the bases. Abreu brings consistency and upside as a developing bat. These aren't just replaceable pieces, these are players who could be part of the long-term core. At the same time, baseball is a business. And if Boston believes that flipping one of these players can bring in a true difference maker, whether that's a frontline starter, a power bat, or a key infield upgrade, then suddenly the conversation changes. It's no longer about losing talent, it's about reshaping the roster for a deeper playoff run. And don't forget, there's also internal pressure. With prospects rising and more young talent pushing for playing time, the Red Sox might eventually have to make a move just to clear space. That's another reason why Duran, in particular, keeps popping up in trade talks. Some insiders have even pointed out that moving him could open opportunities for other emerging players in the system. So where does all of this leave us right now? Here's the reality. As of this moment, nothing is finalized. No deal has been officially announced. But the rumors are very real, the conversations are happening, and the possibility of a trade involving one or even both of these young stars is definitely on the table. And if a move does happen, it won't be a small one. We're talking about a trade that could shift the direction of this team heading into the heart of the 2026 season. A move that could either push Boston into serious contention or spark massive debate among fans if it doesn't work out. That's why you need to stay locked in right here. Because the second something becomes official, the second a deal actually goes through, we're breaking it down instantly, with full analysis, reactions, and what it means for the future of this team. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Would you trade Jarren Duran or Wiley Abreu? And if yes, what kind of return would make it worth it? This is where things get interesting, this is where things get unpredictable, and this is exactly why we love baseball. Stay tuned because this story is far from over.